traffic. Between April 3rd and October 3rd, people arriving between 6 a.m. and 5 p.m. will need to have reserved their entry time before getting to the park. This applies to all recreational visitors unless you've already reserved a commercial tour, a campsite, a special use permit, or a fiery farmer's hike. Book your timed entry tickets with recreation.gov. You can get tickets up to 3 months in advance or at 6 p.m. for visits the following day. Tickets will not be sold at the park entrance booth. They must be obtained before arrival at recreation.gov.
The Visitor Center is currently open from 7:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. daily.
An audio tour is available for rent or purchase at the bookstore. The Devil's Garden Campground at Arches is 18 miles from the park entrance. Drinking water and flush toilets are provided. Sites cost $25 a night and may be reserved online through recreation.gov or by calling 877-444-6777. Most sites are reserved weeks in advance. Additional camping is available outside the park. Visit www.discovermoab.com for information about alternative camping and lodging.
became part of the National Park System in 1929 when President Herbert Hoover signed an executive order to create Arches National Monument. Turn the tape off until you reach your first stop at the Moab Fault turnout, just ahead on the right. As you approach your next stop at Park Avenue,
If you look across the valley and let your eyes follow the highway, you are actually looking at a fracture in the Earth's surface. This fracture is known as the Moab Fault. It developed a mile. That's why the rock layers on the two sides of the canyon don't match. The large sand dune you see across the highway was formed as sand grains eroded off the cliffs behind it. Two things contribute to creating this giant loose sand pile. First, it is so dry here that it is difficult for vegetation to germinate and grow. More important, however, is the fact that people frequently use the dune. The highway department sometimes takes sand from the dune and people frequently play on it. Were it left undisturbed, it would most likely look like the vegetation-covered earth surrounding it. In fact, large natural bare sand dunes are rare in the Arches area. Keep an eye out for children romping on the giant dune. They are sure to fill their pockets and shoes, and eventually the family car with sand. Turn the tape off now and turn it back on. Short version of the geologic process which contributed to the formation of Arches National Park. This entire region was once a vast inland sea. This sea periodically evaporated in dry, hot climate and, in doing so, created salt beds. 29 cycles of flooding and evaporation occurred over a span of 10 to 15 million years, leaving salt deposits up to 10,000 feet thick. When the flooding, drying,
there's a storm coming.
One mile each way.
So here's the picture. It tells you what you're looking at, and then we're just gonna go look at them. So that's the three gossips, and then the one down in front of it is the sheeprock, the Tower of Babel, Overtop Wash Canyon. And over there where the storms are brewing is the LaSalle Mountains. Hard to see. Way over here is the Moab Valley, which we took a picture of earlier. There's Mom endlessly taking pictures.
Your next stop should be just ahead at Courthouse Towers. The parking lot is on your right.
Courthouse Towers is one of the most dramatic areas of the park and also tells a great deal of the geologic story of Arches National Park. The Three Gossips and Sheep Rock, which you see on the opposite side of the road, and Tower of Babel and Organ Rock on the parking lot side of the road, are all that remains of a large flat landmass known as a mesa. Water, the most powerful erosional force on the land, dissected the mesa into several smaller landforms known as buttes. As erosion continued, some of the buttes were reduced to an even smaller form called pinnacles or monoliths. Scientists believe that some of the buttes and monoliths in this area were anchors or abutments for large arches which
See you at the next one.
rises to 300 feet but slowly decreases in height to meet the sandy ground. Along the base of the Great Wall, you have an opportunity to study sand dunes. These dunes are forming from grains of sand that erode out of the cliffs. Sand dunes are good places to study animal, insect, and reptile tracks. You may notice the tracks of chipmunks, ground squirrels, or the kangaroo rat. Even whip-tailed lizards and insects leave their marks in the loose sand of the desert.
Bedding plains of the wind-deposited sand layers. The dunes are made of Navajo sandstone, which contains little iron compared to the redder Entrada sandstone.
Seen just a few miles ago, now you can see how large this field truly is. The entire formation is 128 feet high. The rock that sits atop is almost as tall as a 6-story building at 55 feet and is estimated to weigh 3,577 pounds, the equivalent of about 1,600 full-size automobiles. Balanced rock is a classic example of a boulder, a rock spire composed of rock clays which erode at different rates. In this case, the boulder is made up of hard sandstone. The pedestal is a softer, muddy sandstone. While it appears that the rock is balanced on the pedestal and could easily tip over, it is physically attached to the base.
starting to rain again. It's very muddy here. So we were just at the north window. We're now going to the south window and we're going to get really wet. It looks like it's going to rain again. Mom's coming. Okay.
Adventurous doesn't mean you're in danger.
Sometimes you gotta be dangerous.
You are an adventurous, you have to be. Drinks it, Jake. Jake, look at the video.
Turret. This is the turret arch.